I wanted to make a video about this comment because Reddit is an awful place no matter where you go, and every time I hear about Pokemon Reddits, it's even crazier than I thought. So, hi Verlisify, I wanted to recently post on Reddit. And that was your first mistake, and that's everyone's first mistake. That you think, oh man, maybe I can get some real discussion or engagement with a community. I'm going to Reddit because at least there's a lot of people there. We can get something. No, never happens. Just immediately get shut down. Weird rules, weird mods, or just that's where all the losers funnel at this point. It's been that way for a while. We're kind of going to break that down, but man, it's like, all right, what happens when you go to Pokemon VGC Reddit? To break down how to optimize some of the Pokemon EV training, because I saw a lot of people using, let's say, suboptimal EV spreads for Pokemon like Urshifu. Got inspired by you on breaking down the stats and damage theory. We got one that's in the church. Let's go. Damage theory is actually sticking on people. I'm so proud. Pokemon community chooses to be toxic and unskilled at the game. That's what all my Smogon videos prove as well. So yeah, the reason I wanted to post to the VGC players is because I hope that they aren't all cheaters. I was wrong. They are so focused on cheating that they don't care about strategy, only copying blindly what they see other people do. And that's what I've been saying about competitive Pokemon forever. And also just a lot of gaming. My big gripe with League of Legends is that people just install an app and then they follow either like outdated builds or they just stick to the same build every single game. Oh, what's that? 5 AP on the enemy team? I'm never building Maw of Malmortius, and I don't care how much CC they have. Merc Treads? That's not damage. What's that? I gave my top laner last pick, and they pick Malphite into that 5 AP comp, and they still go Thornmail first? Some people just can't be saved. And then, yeah, it's like, you see all that. Zeri, they nerfed the interaction with Triforce and Sheen, and I had people still buying that on Zeri, my ADC, because I main support, like 3 patches after. And they're like, what do you mean it got fixed? My app says it's the right build. Now, Kellen didn't even get far enough to actually make the post because the community is so disgusting. Because the second rule of the subreddit is to not argue about ginning, and all the creators they promote on the subreddit are cheaters. Now, I didn't even believe this, but it's actually the rules of the VGC Reddit. Rule number 3, not rule number 2, but no discussion on hacking at all. This includes discussion of players using hacked Pokemon. But that's actually incredibly important, that if a competitive player gets caught cheating, the first thing you should do is like front page that Reddit, or like go to the top of that Reddit so little Timmy knows who's cheating and what's actually happening inside the scene. For any other esport, if a player gets banned or punished, that's going to the top of the Reddit. Or if there's like a strong accusation where just like, bro, this dude was streaming and his walls turned on for like a brief second, discuss. Or then that actually like leads to further punishment where that gets a lot of attention, organization or developers have to take action, and then we see the rightful ban of a cheater. But we can't even like begin the discussion of that for Pokemon because all the mods are cheaters, all the players are cheaters, all the community people engaging with it are cheaters, except for like the few honest kids that are like, yeah, I want to actually be a Pokemon champion. I saw Wolfie's video and I think, you know, I'm going to try to beat him, try to be the best because I know I can do it. I'm good at Pokemon. And then it's like, well, actually, no, you stand no chance because they're all cheaters and they're just exploiting that. They deliberately cheat so they can farm you to steal your entry fee as prize money. And if you are trying to pretend it's anything else, you are just objectively wrong at this point. So yeah, now we have like all of this nonsense, but you can't even, if someone gets caught, you're not even allowed to discuss it, even if it happened on stream or if there's a major punishment. So that means little Timmy never gets to find out that Ray Rizzo used a hacked Aegislash at Nationals because, oh, everyone got to see the Dream Ball on stream, and this got a lot of attention. But also it's Pokemon community, and it's the Reddit Pokemon community, so it was just the worst, the dumbest discussion of cheaters. People are blowing this out of proportion. It's just a ball, not illegal EVs or not illegal moves. Actually, it's literally a completely illegal Pokemon because that is how the rules define it. And these are the old school rules. This is say you will be banned if you use hacked Pokemon. Then the rules changed to you might be banned because it turned out, oh, Ray Rizzo, Cybertron, Wolfie, and every other top player, they're all using hacked Pokemon, and that's starting to come out more and more because they keep hacking more and more and nothing was ever done about it. And then, like, we have just complete derangement. Could you provide some substantial proof this is Ray's Aegislash? So it happening on stream for everyone to see that wasn't enough. A friend of mine pointed out it could be a heal ball. What do you think? 45 upvotes see the dream ball and can't cope with the cheating, so they just say, like, yeah, it's a heal ball. I have that where people are saying, like, oh, Wolf Glick used hyper training in Generation 6, and I'll get hundreds of upvotes on my videos. It's like, bro, the last pick Thornmail Malphite into 5 AP is actually more common than you think, and it's terrifying. And then just like nonsense cope. No, hacking a ball does not prove the Pokemon itself has an advantage, except it does, because it's cheated. So now you have the time and infinite resource advantage from a proven cheater like Ray Rizzo. Also, you just go back to 2012 Worlds. Yeah, you can't have a max IV shiny legendary Pokemon, or just even any 6 IV Pokemon to use for competitive or hidden power in any competitive state. They used Pokemon that were physically impossible for legitimate players to obtain, which is the only reason why they won. And then it's just a matter of time until they get caught cheating. Wolf Glick multiple times, Ray Rizzo with this. Also, further discussion we're not allowed to have. Turns out Ray Rizzo used more than just Dream Ball Aegislash. So these Kurt Balls are impossible because of ball breeding mechanics, which is also what did Wolf Glick in. So it turns out, oh yeah, these quote-unquote top players have actually never played Pokemon legitimately a moment in their time playing, and you can't say like, oh, but they had the knowledge to RNG back in Generation 6, even though it literally did not exist until 2017, after Worlds. And then even Generation 5 RNG, well, they still have no understanding of how Pokemon works. And then since the Pokemon and Pokemon VGC community is just all cheating scumbags, well, they're just going to try to deflect it, even though it's like, no, the only action is these players need to be banned. If something bad happens to the scene, well, then the scene never deserved to exist to begin with. So yeah, that's what I mean. We're just like so much nonsense where you go on Reddit. And then there was also something I covered years ago where like you go to the Pokemon trades Reddit and you were like, they said, oh, no hacked Pokemon. They did nothing to enforce it. And they also explicitly allowed hacked Pokemon. You were allowed to hack Zygarde cores as an item, even though VGC rules say like no item hacking allowed. So you're allowed to hack your game, you're allowed to have a hack save file, and then you turn the cores into infinite Zygardes, and those Zygardes are considered legal by the staff of the Pokemon Trades Reddit. And there was multiple things in the rules and like multiple rulings that had happened where you just look at it and go, oh, the mods of the legal Pokemon Trades Reddit are actually just cheaters allowing cheated Pokemon. Real cool. So yeah, the Pokemon community is awful, and Reddit is awful. We already knew this, but it's one of those realizations where like, yep, there's more cheating, and it's more awful than you previously thought always, no matter how far you go back. Now here's a part of the comment I kind of disagree with. I've spent hours with pen and paper calculating. I know I can use tools that exist for calculating the stats and damage, but I like to do it by hand. That seems a little too inefficient. I don't know what can be discovered from that. You need to be putting out those stats as fast as possible. That seems like holding yourself back for no reason. However, the rest of it I'm down with. You know, making graphs, studying, and wanting to share what you found with other people. Pen and paper. I think that can only do harm to the entire process. But this does go into one of my favorite pieces of trivia about Pokemon, because you can play an entire Pokemon battle with just pen and paper and a simple way of determining RNG. So I think that's really cool, and I've used that argument because there's idiots out there that say, well, you use Pokemon Showdown, or you use damage calculators, so you're cheating just the same as someone hacking in Pokemon. Which goes back to just how stupid the Pokemon community is, but I think, like, doing that as a serious part of your preparation or discovery about the game, that goes a little too far, but I do think, like, the graphs and studying and damage theory and stuff, that's correct. And the more people that can get in on that is good, but since, like, 95% of the Pokemon community is worthless, it's impossible. I've been playing since Pokemon Emerald. I always hated cheaters and almost never interact with the community, but I always watch. It's incredible how people can't get their head around the fact that cheating is wrong. And it's one of those things where I say, like, yeah, it's only Pokemon that tolerates it. However, all of gaming is getting more and more cheaters and more cheat defense and more cheat support. But as I talked about with like the recent Monster Hunter cheating, yeah, anyone that tries to downplay cheating in any capacity is a cheater themselves. We've like hard proven that through Pokemon. That's also just all of gaming in general. That if you don't think cheating is wrong, you are a cheater in that discipline. Thank you for being the only hope I found in this toxic community, and it's fans like this that are the reason why I keep doing what I do, making videos like this, exposing it, because I will be the only good person in Pokemon. That means a lot to me, and it is weird where it's like, oh yeah, some random dude, me, I actually became the #1 Poketuber for a long stretch, and I held that record for many years. 16 million monthly viewers was like the most in 2016 and didn't get topped for many years. And now you can't really count it because of shorts. So people have like millions of inflated views of going Social Blade. It's like, well, they got 40 million views. So yeah, and 30 million of that is shorts, which doesn't really count. But I actually objectively became the #1 largest Poketuber for quite a bit of time until dislike botting and then the entire community turning against me for gating hate rating and then YouTube manually like blacklisting and throttling my content. So that's how powerful I am. It takes all of that to keep me suppressed, and people still can't stop talking about me. So people go, oh, you're irrelevant. But if I was irrelevant, then you wouldn't be threatened enough to actually talk about how relevant I am, or still trash talk me to this day, and all that other stuff. And it's also really weird because I don't know how to describe it. It's not like a disconnect, but what I can't understand about Pokemon is like where the people go and how the numbers don't quite add up, because I also did my video recently talking about how like, oh, VGC numbers don't make sense. It's like, oh, VGC is more popular than ever because 1,400 people went to a national event for, I think, $20,000 prize money. So they changed the championship point system, making it to where you have to go to 3 internationals or you don't go to Worlds. And they also make it to where you get more money for participating in internationals, and then more people attend. Wow, then there's only 13,000 people in the global link compared to 40,000 people for Pokemon Sword and Shield. Pokemon's dead. How do we capture the other 25 million people that bought the game? Also, my fans, they don't leave me. Like, my fans don't go, oh, Verlisify sucks, I learned the truth, I'm leaving. That's like maybe 5% from all the, even like with all the hate videos and stuff. It's actually, oh, Pokemon sucks. Thanks for making me realize this, Verlisify. I'm going to become a productive member of society. Sorry, I'm not watching your content anymore because I can't be interested. So it's all the people that have left Pokemon, left competitive Pokemon. If you were back in the X and Y days, it's like, wait, why was X and Y competitive more lively than it is now? Despite, you know, like half the sales of the games and all these other things. And then when you actually look at the viewership, 2016 Pokemon trivia is 5x what Wolf Glick is now, and people are talking about Wolf Glick like he's the top best Poketuber ever, when it's like, actually no, he is one of the smallest Poketubers in history. So naturally, as someone that just wants to talk about Pokemon and share my passion of Pokemon with others, I want to know where all the Pokemon fans went and why it's impossible to have any discussion. And that's why I think like these kinds of things are interesting, and I really respect and love the OGs inside of my audience, where someone like Splashwave comes up and has the entire Pokemon lore downloaded into their brain, where it's like an alt mirrored reality of me. Godzilla Freak, who's like the other most dialed in person in Pokemon ever, and then this random dude that's like, oh yeah, I don't interact with Pokemon, but I've been around forever, I do charts and graphs. This dude is a lurker that hand calcs damage calculations. This person should be a GOAT of the Pokemon Reddit. Like, every time they post, it's a gem that everyone wants. They should get their own following for being this insane about the game. But instead, like, no, that's the outcast behavior. Because you actually, like, care and you're passionate about Pokemon, and you don't solve everything with cheating. And then you try to go and find discussion, and you can't. And it's also just identity politics nonsense. I'm actually kind of terrified that, are they now using Minior as some kind of, like, egg analogy or pride representation? That's terrifying. So yeah, the Pokemon community has been hijacked by toxicity and bad actors and just like corrupt cheaters to where it's impossible to do anything. But again, that's also true of all Reddit, that if you just try to find any post, or if you actually make a discovery, if you're like, hey, I found this thing, and then people just go, no, we don't care about the facts, your thing is wrong. Again, that happened with me on League of Legends recently, that I had challengers, like I leveled account from level 0 to level 30, try to get like a fresh ranked burner. Well, not burner, but like try to get a new ranked account, because if you have an old account, you're getting plus 20 LP minus 25, impossible to climb. You buy a botted account, you start at plus 36 LP, and you also start at a higher rank for free, doing nothing. So yeah, all right, let's get an account organically up to level 30. The account started 10-0 in normals, and then ended up having challenger and grandmaster players in normals lobbies, where it's like, yeah, actually the normals MMR was that high. yet the account placed silver. And then I bought an account just to kind of experiment with it, and the account placed silver. Like the same silver 376 LP. So it's like, oh, the normals MMR that the devs said was factoring for ranked placement, that's actually just a lie, and all accounts are default silver, silver 376 LP. Let's actually, like, is this a bug? Maybe we should do something about it. There's a problem with the ranks, as people said, no, you didn't get Grandmasters in your lobbies. It's like, I can see their banner in my game. Why is my level 27 account going up against a Grandmaster Darius and a Diamond Jungler? That doesn't make any sense. That needs to have, like, some kind of discussion. The only way the devs respond to things is if they get popular enough on the Reddit. But no, you're wrong. This game never existed. The literal 90th best player in NA Challenger that I had on my team didn't exist because it just goes against the narrative. And then you're just not allowed to discuss anything. So either you leave the community because it's so terrible, or you keep all of your stuff to yourself and then you never have any interactions. Like, all the good in the community is just like, is Lurker. And then I'm the only place where you can actually find real discussion. And it's also the same thing where if you go on like the Nuzlocke Reddit, 10 years ago, grind, grind, grind. If you're not grinding, you don't have a Nuzlocke. Now, if you say, why are we cheating in rare candies? You get completely canceled. So yeah, Reddit's awful. That's also a big reason why everything's awful, because like social media and just the movement of culture through the internet. So yeah, that's why everything is awful, because social media manipulation, where you just have like the lowest value voices being able to like band together and get propped up. Also, actual humans aren't going to be on Reddit all day, or these people are going to be busy doing actual work inside of the game instead of complaining about the game on Reddit and then getting other brats and idiots to support them through that for the fake internet points. So yeah, it gets worse, but at least I get content. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.